coming to you with a very important message on how to start your 2023. Have a vision. A vision isn't hard, you just have to see it, want it, and act on it. I started 2022 without a vision, and by the end of 2022, I figured out my vision for the rest of that year, and I was blessed, very blessed, to be able to accomplish nearly everything on that list for my vision of this past year. I did that by way of doing 5 different things, which are 5 tips that I'll give you later on in this video if you keep watching, and how that helped me accomplish my goals for 2022 and show you what goals I have for 2023. Now here are these 5 tips. So, 5 tips on how to find your vision for 2023. Tip number 1, if it's something you think about every day, if it's something that makes you smile, if it's something that you see every day and something that you can't live without, that can be part of your vision for 2023. For me, making a list helped me see on paper what's important, and helped me to determine what it is that I needed to accomplish for that year, or things that could be pushed off for later on. Another thing was I thought on my hobbies. Now, mind you, hobbies are important, and doing something like that can be part of your vision, as far as how to better yourself and take better care of yourself. Because for me, so my vision for 2022 was to be a better man in general. To narrow it down, if I had to put into a couple words, it's being a better man in general. Being a better man for my family, being a better businessman, being a better man to myself. That's what my 2022 boiled down to. So I had to think of, with those 3 things overarching, what of those 3 things is most important to me to make those 3 things happen. For my family, it was spending more time with them. It was being there for them more, being in my son's life more, because typically I work late night shifts, so I'm never really home and with him during a bulk of the day. Or spending more time with my wife in general. Just being able to take more trips with them, stuff like that. For my business, it was accomplishing more contracts, getting more content out there, and I started really getting into that once I joined the VRA, the Video Writing Academy with Think Media. It's a great tool for accountability, actually, and it does help, to me anyway. And being a better man to myself, I was actually taking more and better physical care of myself. Something about me that I have to own is the fact that I'm a veteran. I've tried to get back into the military, but with the rating code that I have, I can't re-enlist whatsoever, and that is perfectly fine. I just have to live with that at this point and own up to that. And part of that is making sure I go to my appointments to take care of myself so that I am here longer for my family. And that is what is most important to me, is being here for them and being able to accomplish my goals for them. So I also made sure to make a point to start going back to the gym more often, because that helped me as far as being a better man to myself, and then because it was a way of releasing any stress and frustration I had and not bringing it back home. Tip number 3, you can think about your plans for the upcoming year. As in that same year span, what is that you want to accomplish that year? That is also another way you can help narrow down your vision for what it is that you want to accomplish for that year. Whether it's being able to say no to people more often, hanging out with people more, being more sociable, being more antisocial, if that's what you would call it, and focusing on yourself and your goals. That's another way, thinking of your plans for the upcoming year. Or even then. Number 4 that I had, also kind of, these all fall into each other a little bit, and this is how I came up with my vision, but setting a time frame for these goals. Earlier that same year, my wife and I actually had an idea of writing them down on a trifold board and then putting dates next to them, and that actually kind of made it more actionable. Now, mind you, when you do this, something you're going to have to do is sacrifice. Like, I know some of the goals that we have that we want to do this year. So the other question is, what is it that we're going to have to sacrifice to be able to do some of these things and some of these goals that we have? Um, because I'm going to give you examples on how you can actually completely bring these steps together and visualize them at the end of this video by showing you examples with the vision board I made for this year. And then the final thing, and this is most important, pray. I wouldn't get to where I've gotten to this entire year, this entire past year, if I didn't pray about it and I didn't meet him halfway. And for that, I can say that is why I have been blessed to be able to achieve what it is that I have this past year. My goals for this past year was to get myself a new truck, to get my family a house, to start putting together a studio for my business, not in a room in my house, but separately so I don't have to disturb them. And there's no arguments and ifs, ands, or buts as far as noise and everything else. But if I didn't pray about these goals, if I didn't see them in front of me, in front of my face, every single day when I opened up this computer behind me, I shudder to think of where we'd be right now. I got the idea of making a vision board from watching Steve Harvey and saying, once you put it out there, you're more likely to achieve it. It's more likely to be yours because you're letting God know what it is you want. But the thing is that you have to meet him halfway. You have to be able to pray, and you have to be able to act and do the things that he tells you to do to accomplish those. What sacrifices is it that he's telling you to make, or what sacrifices is it that you're going to be willing to make to get to that point? And then finally, I guess this would be step number 6. You bring all that together by making a vision board. And I'll show you how in just a moment. So to start my vision board first, I typically start with Canva, which was recommended to me by my wife. Then I will search through the Oracle, or Google as it's commonly known, for images that relate to what I hope to accomplish as far as my vision for the coming year. Those include improving on my studio space. I like having a variety of options, so I typically save anywhere between 3 and 4 pictures for the same image group. Being debt free. And then getting my wife a new car, as we have a new addition coming this year. Also, because of that, we want to have multiple income streams this year as we're tired of working a 9-to-5 schedule. I actually want to remodel our home to make it safer for our little ones. And then we'd actually like to do something different this year and make it a point to try and travel more often this year, especially to Florida, as in May I start my master's degree in business in entertainment business and Full Sail, and I would like to walk the stage for at least one of my college graduations at some point. And then after that, I will go into Canva and mess with the text a little bit. Then I start importing all of my images and editing them in. There's really no particular order that I actually do this in. It's just preference, really. Just as a side note, make sure that before you print this out, which I actually spent $24 at Office Depot for to do that, and it's a 16 by 20, I believe. Close the gaps in between your pictures. If you look in between the truck, which is actually a Dodge Ram, and then the plane, if you look at the picture of the contracts, there's a gap there. Just close those. Just a little side note. After that, I go through and I start importing my images and editing them in. I don't really have a particular order or a preference. I just make sure that my family is first and my home, and then everything else just gets filled in afterwards. Finally, I just decided to make a last minute change to the text. I wanted something different and didn't just want to keep the same phrases that were there. Because for me, 2023 is all about improving on last year, but then also improving me and figuring out what it is that I want out of the year. So I picked greatness, success, and legacy as the three things that I want to focus on, continuing to do everything for my family, wanting to be just in second gen full time, and then being healthier in general as always. So then after that, it's nothing. You just go through, you save it to your computer, and you can print it out. You can put it as a background on your computer or what have you, and that's pretty much what you got. Any last minute changes you make, if you want to be able to do that, you can make a Canva account to be able to go back through and edit it. And I recommend it simply because it'll let you be able to edit it for years on end until you get to where you want to be. And it's pretty much it. That was 5 tips on finding and improving your vision for 2023. If you all like this video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any tips on how I can improve later on for other videos and other content later on this year. If there's anything you'd like to see me upload or do as far as advice or any tips you may want to have or things you want advice on, please leave a comment below so I can get to it and try to make a video for that this year or plan for one. Also, this is 2023. This is a time to be about you, your goals, and your dreams. So please, let's spend 2023 trying to be the best versions of ourselves, getting to greatness. You all have a good day. Peace.